Japanese or Korean breakfast this morning. I cruised the YouTubes looking for strange and unusual and interesting menus, items to eat, and I was looking at street foods in Japan and Korea, and even though the names are different, it's both the same thing. It's basically called egg bread, and they have special pans that they cook them in, and they're cooked and sold for roughly $1 a piece in both countries, and you hold them in your hand and eat them like a sandwich or something like that. But I've tried this 2 or 3 times, and it tested the recipes out, and now I'm ready to make it for YouTube. They had special pans that they cooked their egg breads in Japan and Korea. The main difference was, in Japan it was kind of a little hot dog bun shape, and in Korea they made round ones. And I happen to have this little omelet cooker here which makes round ones, and that ought to be perfectly shaped and sized for making my egg bread. So I'll set that aside, and I've got everything that I'm going to need. Mixing bowl. I've got some softened butter, now not melted, because if you melt it, it tends to start trying to separate the milk out and leave the oil. So just get softened butter, and 2 eggs at room temperature. They work a lot better at room temperature than if you leave them if they come out cold like they do out of the refrigerator. The main thing, it takes longer for them to cook once you put them in. And I have a cup of self-rising flour. Now, if you don't have self-rising flour, you can just use plain all-purpose and add a ½ teaspoon of baking powder and about a ½ teaspoon of salt. But self-rising doesn't cost any more than all-purpose, so I just always buy self-rising and use it for everything. It's a lot easier and quicker. And then the other thing is some milk and sugar. So let's start in making this batter now. I'm going to start out with just a little bit under a cup of milk. You normally have to make, actually what I'm making here is hot cake batter. Same thing, but you start out with a little less milk than you're going to use flour, because if it's too thick you can always add milk a lot easier than you could add flour. So I've got the milk there, and I've got the softened butter here. Get it out of there. Now there it is, most all out. And 1 egg. As I said, at room temperature. Now what I want to do is just simply whip this until it's thoroughly combined. A whisk works great for this. Now I'm going to put in the cup of self-rising flour, and I'll whip that in. It's a lot easier to put the liquid in than add the flour to it than it is the other way around, because the flour sticks around the bottom and you have to dig it loose and all of that. And You want to whip that with a whisk until it's nice and smooth. And put in about a good teaspoon of sugar. Pancake batter is always a little bit sweet. It's not biscuit dough by any means, not cake batter either. Well, that looks about right. So at this point I'll warm the little pan I'm going to make it in and go from there. And the clock says it's 3 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to check this. Yep, it's hot. And just to be on the safe side, I'm going to hit it with a little cooking oil there. And what you do first is put some batter in the bottom. And some in the top. And that looks like it's probably about the right amount. And spread it around in there. And what you want to do is make a little basket at the bottom. Yeah, see, it's already cooking. And I'll break the egg right in the middle of it. There we go. Now I want to spread the top around. Don't have to be too careful with it because it'll form itself around the egg. And fold the top over. Now, as I say, you don't want it too hot. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because you want it to cook instead of brown too quickly. So leave that set as it is. Well, this has been 3 minutes on that side there, so I'm going to turn it over and check it. If I can figure out, there it is. Oh yeah, look how nice and brown that is. So I'm going to leave it on that side. I left it about 2.5 minutes on the first side, and I'm going to leave it about that long on the second to brown that side. Well, okay. Well, let's check this out. That's nice and brown on that side. And that side there, so I would pronounce it as done. Yeah, it feels that way, so I'm going to put it on a paper plate, take it to the table, and have some breakfast and see what I think of it. There it is. Now it's going to the table. I guess I'm sure that some of you are going to pick up on the fact that I said it was 3 o'clock. Well, it is. I didn't make this in the morning. It's a little bit too confused around here for that thin. And it's nice and quiet in the afternoon while Frida's taking her nap, and a lot of things that I normally would cook for breakfast are cooked at that time for the video. It's just much easier without the confusion. Well, there it is on the table, along with my favorite coffee cup and cup of coffee there, and I'm going to try it out and see how it tastes. Okay.
That first bite was all hot cake or bread. I don't see any eggs sticking out around the edge anywhere. Maybe that is. Yeah, that's some egg there. It's a little bit on the bland side, but it's good. Make a great breakfast to carry in your hand, and it's a lot better than a sausage McMuffin from the Golden Arches or one of those other breakfast biscuits that cost you $3 or $4. And the egg is done all the way through. As I said, you want to use room temperature eggs because it takes about a minute off the time it would heat them up to cook. So here's the breakfast this morning. God bless America, God bless Texas, because after all, where except Texas would you find a picture like this?